1% of dudes rapping, they ain't nice as me. 98% ain't live the same type of life as me. The judge gave me life and then they sent me where the life is be. That level 4 with depth and vice, the type of stuff they like to see. Two choices, fight or flee. I refuse to die a chump. I never been a mark, but damn, it's scary when that riot jump. I seen dudes cry, get pumped, and some sexually brutalized. Knew a dude who lost his life and he was only doing 5 year-long racial fights when homie all you do is ride. Lonely days and nights up in a hole causing suicide. From the moment you arrive, you see the Mexican mafia, AB skinheads with big giant swastikas, pro-black philosophers, the BGF, the Kumi, and Muslims who will murk you from the nation to the Sunni. That MS was loony, quick to ride up on they rival. Even Christians went to church, hide knives up in a Bible. Political and tribal, the Crips and Damus, the Long Beach, the Hubs and the Dubs and the Grooves, the IE, the Bakersfield, the Dago Pyrus, the hustlers quick to roll, the gangsters don't move, whatever click.
Say what's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 to life, and I'm back like I'm on a parole violation. Yard down.
Yard down, man.
Got a very interesting guest in, man. I definitely appreciate you for reaching out to me, man. And if you don't mind, go ahead, just introduce yourself for everybody.
Well, my name is Roy Raheem Butler, from Oakland, California, originally. I served 28 years on a 15-year life sentence. Second-degree murder. My role, I played in the murder. I had 2 other crimes. And I've been out on parole. I've been out of prison since 2014, June 26, 2014. I paroled. I've been on parole since 2019. I did 5 years on parole. Out here, San Francisco. I paroled to San Francisco. I paroled actually to Health Right 360 Walden House program.
Mm-hmm.
I did a SAP program inside, and I went to the SAP. I was like introduced to like transitional programs, transitional housing programs, things to help you like navigate toward back to society, reentry. Right. So I decided it would be the best move for me, and with the help of a case manager in there, was a good case manager I had in there, and we decided on Health Right. It was the best choice I ever made in my life, man. I ain't gonna lie, because they got a sign when you go to the front of the house. It says, "Today is the first day of the rest of your life."
Wow.
Right, and that is very true. It's how you take it, though. Some people go in there and play with it. I seen all that.
Right.
It is what it is. So everybody on different stages of their life.
Right.
But yeah,
you definitely got a good point. After doing all that time, having life, thinking that you would never come home, and then get out, and like the sign said, this is the first day of the rest of your life.
Your life. Wow.
One good thing about you, right? I've never had many, I don't think, if many guests from up north. So it'll be very interesting to hear your perspective, because for a lot of people that's not from California, they don't understand that it's 2 extremely different cultures between Northern Cali and Southern Cali. And
well,
so you grew up in Oakland. Tell us a little bit about where you grew up in your upbringing and stuff like that.
Well, I grew up in Oakland, California, typically West Oakland mostly, and I grew up I was born in 1967, August 5th, 1967. So I grew up back in the 70s.
I hate to stop you. You said August 5th?
I was born August 5th, 1967.
That's my birthday, August 5th. All right, go ahead. So that's
Kendrick Soul, man.
Yes,
Kendrick
sir.
Brotherhood, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about.
Sir.
I was raised in in the 70s, you know what I'm saying? So I was raised and also, not just that, but I was raised around an era, not just like the Hustlers, that's I was right where they made the Mac at. I lived right down the street where they made the movie The Mac.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Rich Pryor, made Rich Pryor. I got his autograph back in there, all that stuff, right? But I was grew up in that kind of scene too, the Hustlers, you know what I'm saying? But also the revolutionary scene, because I was Huey, all them, you know what I'm saying? Bobby, you know what I'm saying? A lot of them, and Big Howard, the Panthers,
Right.
So now my family was Panthers, so I grew up with that little, kind of influence too. And then mixed with the streets, So it's very interesting upbringing. There's a lot of love, neighborhood. It wasn't like I said, it was a very different culture, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't we didn't have it wasn't like a lot of gang violence, like that kind of stuff. It wasn't a lot of violence. It was violence, but it wasn't like that, you know what I'm saying? It was a more into drug type of thing, violence. Right. Drug war. They had a lot of drug crews. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you a quick question real quick. to touch on a little something that you said for those who may not be familiar with a couple of extremely important names that you mentioned. You mentioned Huey and Bobby, which I'm sure you're referring to Huey Newton and Bobby Seale. For those who may not know, they are the co-founders of the Black Panther Party, which was started out in Oakland. So what was that environment like, man, growing up with a pro-black, upbringing and influences like that in your culture? What was that like?
Man, I was very, it was like, at the time, it was just like, I didn't look at it, I'm real young, so I didn't look at it like anything deeper than that. It was just a thing to do,
Right.
It was just a thing to do at the time, as I talk older, I really realized what it really was, But it was a thing to do, and it was a very interesting upbringing. Like I said, there's a lot of love, and the love for the community, you know what I'm saying? Like things like, for example, if I did something down the street, if Miss So-and-so see me down the street, she whooped my tail, you know what I'm saying, that thing went on for a long time, people took care of each other. Right. You couldn't break it, it wasn't no robberies, no break-ins on our blocks, so that kind of stuff, saying, people didn't rob each other, so they had people out there doing bad, things like that, whatever you want to call it, right, but people didn't, it was boundaries.
Right. And I think, you hear that a lot from people from our generation or close within, from regardless of where they happen to grow up at, that it was, the communities back then was like a village. Like you say, if you go down the street, you do something bad, somebody down the street's mother may see you, give you a whooping, send you home call. So it was extremely different. Now, for a lot of people who don't know as well, touch on what it was like, because you said it was some bad things going on, but there is no Crip and Blood presence in Oakland. So are there gangs out there, or do they gang bang, and how does that work?
Well, my opinion, it's gang banging. They call it more. It's more like turf, right? And it's like it's not behind like any kind of color code thing like that. It's more there's a drug, the turf thing. So it's more like the rivalry, the jealousy,
neighborhoods. It's like blocks, neighborhoods, and projects. So it's still cliques and crews and stuff. It's just not like you said, the color association.
Yeah. It's no in the violent element. It's a little different. It's violence. It get violent because there was a lot of bad murders, boy. I mean, especially the '80s, in Oakland, there was a lot of bad drug wars going on in inner Oakland, between the rivalries, Mickey Moe and Felix Mitchell. I don't know if you never heard of them names. There's a lot of stuff going on back then. There's like a lot of,
I said no, most definitely.
Yeah, there's a lot of dying, you know what I'm saying? So that part element was really bad, also, at that time in the early 80s, early to mid 80s, like,
Now, for those who are not familiar with those names who didn't, that you just mentioned, because I'm definitely more familiar with the name Felix Mitchell. Can you talk a little bit about who he was and stuff like that?
Well, what I know about Felix is he wasn't born in Oakland, I know about, but he's in a village called, it's the 65th village, 69 village. It's a projects. In 69 Street area in the east side of Oakland, right? They call it the 69 Village,
right?
And they had they had the mob, like real mob, you know what I'm saying? Right. What he did was he had he built his empire. He was building an empire, a drug empire, which he pretty much did, right? And he had guys like in the project, like for example, the youngsters would be lookouts. They get paid to be on the roofs and be lookout for the police, so like that,
Right.
And make sure, that kind of stuff,
Right.
And they can do their business, with ease, make their money.
Because I had a few friends. Actually, I got a good buddy from 69ville, man. Shout out to him if you watching. I don't know if he want me to mention his name, so you know who I'm talking about, man. My boy. Shout out to you though. But he told me that the movie New Jack City was kind of constructed and made around what Felix Mitchell had going on. Have you heard anything about that? Is there any truth to that?
What? I did. I heard that when I was locked up. I did hear that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how much truth is to it personally, but I remember I did hear that though. I heard that. But that's about it. I don't really know personally. No.
Right. So about what age do you think as they say, you hopped off the porch and started being involved in more street activity and stuff like that?
Well, with me, I had I was kind of very blessed. My grandparents raised me. Because my mother had me when she was 14. My dad's 15. Okay. It's real young. You know what I'm saying? So my grandparents, they raised my dad also. And, stepped in. I was like, my grandmother, she's a midwife from the South anyway. So she had that nature, and she was real spiritual, you know what I'm saying, involved in the black church, stuff like that, you know, real in the community, stuff like that, which I didn't know till later on how deep she really was, but she took, you know, took care of me. She took me at 6 months old, took me in the house, told me I got him. It wasn't like I'm taking you from him, but it's like, no, I'm gonna help you with this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take control of this because I'm gonna give him what he needs to have. That's what it really was, you know, was a good foundation, spirituality, you know, because the spirituality in the household, the God, most definitely. And it was a good upbringing. And they was really kind of strict, you know, kind of watchful. So I didn't really, I went out and I started going out more and more. I was like say 13. So first I used to have a curfew, a little curfew, you know. I can go at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, go down the block. Where I got a little older, like 13, 14, I like go a little further, you know what I'm saying, in my neighborhood. So I knew little people a little further. So I started reaching a little further as I started getting more, you know, more mischievous activity.
Right. Now,
You know,
to my understanding, some parts of Oakland have always had a large drug scene or whatever, with heroin and stuff like that. How did, in your opinion, the influence of crack, once it arrived, did it change the neighborhoods and just the violence and stuff like that?
Oh my God, that's definitely. I'm gonna touch back on you talking the heroin effect, right? I grew up in West Logan where that was like I consider that was the heroin capital, right? Because I grew up seeing a lot of heroin addicts because heroin was big down in the projects in the neighborhood, right? You know, I lived in the house personally. I lived in the project, but I live right around the corner down the street like that, right? But I see these guys all the time when they be kicking, throwing up, and I was like, man, that's like, what kind of stuff is that? That's like what they get. I'm like, I don't want that, you know, type of stuff. So that was kind of like my scare straight at a young age, seeing that the bad effects of it,
right?
When they kicking and throwing up and gagging, all that kind of stuff, right? And that's mostly all I've seen. So I'm like, wow, I'm kind of cool on that one. So I never really got in dope. I never really did drugs anyway. I smoked weed, you know what I'm saying? But I never really got to the dope thing personally, as far as using, you know what I'm saying? But that kind of, but as far as with the crack scene, when that hit, oh my God, it definitely changed the whole spectrum in Oakland. From the as it probably did in a lot of places, a lot of urban areas, good hood areas, you know what I'm saying? The women that normally guys couldn't get became easy.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they was becoming addicted.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it happened. I know some girls personally that was cool, like good, like I said, like good girls, you know?
Yeah.
And it turned out they tricking with the for the crack. I'm like, wow. I was like about 18 then, seeing this kind of stuff, you know, right before the prison. And I'm like, wow, that's deep, that's crazy.
Yeah, for those viewers out there who missed, you know, the younger viewers who missed the emergence of crack, it was an extremely horrible community altering drug.
Man.
Yeah, man, it took it had a horrible effect on the community. Did you ever involved in hustling or this and that? You know, how did you end up getting out there in the streets and, you know, eventually getting caught up in the crime that sent you to prison?
Well, my case was kind of like how can you say situational in a sense, because you know when I had a homegirl, that's what it was. I had a homegirl, and she was a singer. She doing good stuff like that. Also, you know, we kick it a lot, talk about music. I was DJ. I was into the music real good. That's one thing kept me on a lot of bullshit too. Was my music.
Right.
Me DJ do a little parties like that. You know, in my little sports. You know, and I ran around a little bit, but I would just, you know, back and forth, you know what I'm saying, like that. But what made me get into the crime was when I got close to my friend named Shay. Her name was Shay. And Shay's like a few years older than me. We was kicking a lot. And she was going with the homie for a minute. A brother, we had a homie. He was a brother we kind of knew. He's from Richmond City. And they got into it. And he's beat her. I guess he's beat her up. Abused her. So she had cut him loose. And I guess he's come back forth there and there. And we just tell people about it. You know, we was like, wow, this kind of like leave alone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then one thing led to another. He came over. I guess she got pregnant by him before she had left. He came back and broke in the house and grabbed her outside and body slammed her on the concrete, and she had a miscarriage. She was too much pregnant. So that right there was a trigger what fear was. You know, like that knew her, you know, like really cool, you know what I'm saying? Right. So like really like empathy. So we saw, you know, like we get the criminal element, you want to like me. I know me personally. I wanted to do something to help her.
Right.
Really, that's my general intention, right? But I didn't really know how to. I didn't have the tools to help her properly.
Uh-huh.
I only knew the other element is
The
my
violence
criminal thing.
aspect. Right. Right.
Yeah, where I was taught was like my uncles and my father said, "You give a woman, you're a punk." See, I was taught that.
Mm.
You whip on a woman, you know, before like beat her, abuse all that, you're a punk. Cause
Right.
she's the weaker species. Come on, why you doing that for, right? So I had that mentality already. So how I reacted was that from that
Uh-huh.
he deserved to get what she got.
Right. Right.
You know, that was my thought, my thinking process. You
Uh-huh.
know what I'm saying? At the time, he deserved to get what she got. So by any means, we gonna do that to him. So
Right.
we set up, beat down, all that kind of stuff,
Uh-huh.
Set him to get beat down. One thing led to another. We followed back to her, had her lead her to the apartment. That's how I went down. Then my crimey would stay with her, who had another issue with him anyway, which I didn't know. We was plotting, and he jumped out and stabbed him while I was in the same room, same apartment, but in the bathroom.
Mm.
Yep. So I never even touched the guy.
Right. So you end
But
up
I
getting
but I got caught. I got caught up for helping planning the beat down. I got tied in that, saying like accessory, basically.
right.
So I
So
got, yeah.
so what was that like? So what was that like up until that point? You had never gotten any legal trouble up until that point?
I got like went to like a little juvenile thing for a minute, what I'm saying, when I was real young, but it was like a slap on the wrist thing, running around. So
Uh-huh.
really really no. So
So
really
so
no.
what was it like at that point? How old were you? 18?
No, I just turned 20 years old. I just had a birthday, just turned 20 in August, and then I got arrested September 27th.
Mm.
Yep.
And so 20 years old is still extremely young. So
Yeah,
what was
yeah,
it
yeah,
like
yeah, most
at
definitely.
that
I
point?
was a kid.
What was it like at that point, finding yourself in now such tremendous trouble? Did you
Man, I'm
know?
telling you right now, right? Like a lot of people don't admit fear.
Most
I was
definitely.
scared to death.
Right. Did
You know
you
what I'm
did you
saying?
did you know how much time you was facing?
When I went in, I went in, I already know, right? I went in, go to get it rain, I got arrested. As it came out of my house, it was like a few days later. When they got around to me, right? So went down. I got booked. I went in. I didn't really know, right? Till I got into the really to like through booking. Set in. They said special circumstances, premeditated murder, death penalty. Yeah, I was like, but that little cell and just cried because it hit me like, damn. When they said that, like I might not, I'm gonna die. That was the feeling I had at the time. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it hit me. And when I did that, if I got to that, it's like some of the stuff, I just like, you know what? I gotta do this. Like the will, what I'm saying? The wheels took over. You know what? I'm here. Gotta do it no matter what, some kind of way. Yeah.
So if you can remember, what was your first experience, whether it was violence, shocking, something that made you realize, okay, I'm really in prison and it's dangerous in here?
Oh, one time I was in in the chow hall. It's this old guy, OG, right? He always sit by himself. He's OG. Been, I guess at the time he'd been down like probably like 20 something years.
Black, he
And I
was a
got
black
in.
dude, white dude.
No, it's a black dude, brother.
Okay.
Black dude. And I got there in '88. So he'd been down, 20 some years already. So you know what I mean, like, motherfucker, that's really, really tough. We got shit together. These youngsters kept fucking with him all the time. One youngster kept fucking with him. So for some reason, and you tell the youngster, leave me alone. Leave me alone. He kept fucking with him, right? And it kept like, I think it went for a few days. Then one day, the OG, when youngster wouldn't sit down, when he opened his mouth, OG stabbed him in the neck with a fork.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? We seen that shit. Now that was like right then. That's when I say, yeah, it's a real shit.
You knew it was
It's a
serious.
real, yeah, it's a real shit. And that's how that's how you do your shit. That's how you end your business, basically. That's how I looked at it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? OG wasn't talking, wasn't arguing, doing nothing, but Duke kept fucking with him though.
Uh-huh.
But hey, but it is what it is. That's the environment.
And so do you think that that initial Soledad, it was a dangerous prison, or what was some of the, what would you consider the most dangerous prison that you've been to?
The most dangerous prison I've been to, I can say, I think was Pelican Bay. When I got to Pelican Bay, that's the most dangerous because of the police, how they had to design more. It wasn't really the inmates I was more tripping on. It was more the police made it more dangerous.
From time to time, we may hear that the brothers up north are not too fond of Crips from down south or something like that. Had that been your experience? Is that true, or is that left to each individual? What are your thoughts on that?
No, I have my experience with the Keyway brothers has been good. See, I was in Folsom. I was like connected with more like more political type of cats, you know what I'm saying? Because we was more on like a political level, you know what I'm saying? I'm a freedom fighter. I always been that way. I was raised by the Panthers. I always had that mentality, you know. And I connected with a couple of, I know Tony T from CCO cats, you know what I'm saying? And we had Tom Bomb, Bloodline, you know what I'm saying? I was taking cats like that at the time,
right?
You know what I'm saying? We had like I created a little study group from the yard, you know what I'm saying? Right before I got shot in that riot, I had a little study group. Now what I did, I got with each and every people I was kind of cool with, have rapport with, like Keyway cat, Damu cat over here, you know what I'm saying? We got together and put a little study group together. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to create a little something, you know. I get that later on by my little nonprofit thing I was doing in there, right? But I was trying to create a little unified. That's how I've always been. That's how I was taught. So I always had that drive, you know what I'm saying, that vision.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And Kumi just kind of like give me a little more push at it, you know what I'm saying? And reinforce a little more.
Most definitely. Now you just mentioned being shot in a riot. So you're talking about the riot in '96 in New Folsom?
Yes, I am, sir. On September 27th, 1996.
How long had you been at Folsom before that riot actually occurred?
I got there in '94, actually. I got there like I think it was I want to say April or May of '94.
Now, up until the point of the riot occurring, how do you feel? What was it? A lot of racial tension between the blacks and the Hispanics, or was it a lot of violence at the prison? What was pretty much going on at the prison before the riot?
Well, that yard, I got that yard. There's always a tension between the Southerns and blacks. You know what I'm saying? Even the Nazi law riders was there. You know what I'm saying? Right before I got there, they had a big ass war when they shot a brother in the leg or something. I forgot what it was. I was kind of brief on that when I first got there, like, on the security. On this area, because this happened right here, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. So it was been going down already before I got there. But the tension had been high always.
So being at a prison like that, where it's a lot of tension between different racial groups, did you always feel like you was walking on pins and needles and something was eventually, going to explode? Because sometimes when you at certain prisons, you can tell it's just a matter of time before certain groups get into it. Did it feel like that?
Oh yeah, always, most definitely, all the time. We talk about it a lot too. You know what I'm saying? It always felt like that. It'd be cool sometimes though. Sometimes it'd be like cool program, you can play sports and everything. Get a little, the little stuff out there, but it was always tension. Always on security, high alert. Even whatever you was doing, you had to have your usalam up.
Right. Up until the point you was shot, was there any other riots or any other altercations involving different races?
Yeah, they had little small mayonnaise. They had the Southsiders got into it. They had all the Northerners was on yard for a minute. They got into it. They put like a few Northerners on yard, try to build. Like, they try to build their little car up, The first one was no Northerners on yard at all on B yard. It was all like A yard. Right. So I put some yard, which I felt was cool. You know what I'm saying? A little balance. You know what I'm saying? There was they had actually some good guys. The one they put there, actually some cool cats. Pretty good guys about structure.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of serious. But the Southerners wasn't having that at the period. At the period of time, so I get in the weight pile. And we gave them some weights. They had weights in, right? And the Southerners want them on the weight pile. So we us and a few other people, I think some Asians, gave them some of our weights off to the side to have something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Say, fuck that. We're gonna give you something other. Don't worry about it.
Right. So okay, take us to the time when unfortunately you were shot in the riot. Coming out that morning, Was it any tension? Did you know it was tension, or was it a normal day? How set the scene for us?
Well, we found some tension out like the day before, right? So that morning, got up, the word was spread, you know what I'm saying, that when we go out, it's, be on, high security because it might be popping.
Okay, so hold on real quick. I hate to interrupt, but you said, so the day before the riot, the word had been spread that it was tension?
Yeah, somebody happened here.
Do you have any idea what happened, or?
No, I don't know. I didn't know exactly what happened at the time. I just know it said the Southerners.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? It said Southerners and blacks. So we be on high alert. That's all I knew. I didn't say no specific. I didn't really hear no specific, you know what I'm saying, group. You know what I'm saying, like that. I just heard, the brothers.
Okay. And then so the day of the riot now, what were you up to and stuff when the riot actually broke out?
When I came out, we came together, you know what I'm saying, and did a little check in, check in the yard. Then we first off, I got somebody go with me. I had to go to the canteen.
Uh-huh.
And I was gonna try to go also stock up. I got a little extra money. I got got blessed from outside like some money. I'm gonna go fat to the max and stock up, right? So I can be ready, right?
Right.
So my boy Dre with me. No, my bad. My other partner with me. We walked to the canteen and just I'm staying. Finally got in line, stayed in the back. Finally got up to the to the front, but stay on the side. You get up to the side of the window. Mm-hmm. I got that far up. Now I was standing looking. We kept, we just felt it, right? All of a sudden, somebody said, "Look!"
And that's what I was going to ask you.
So I looked
before the dude hollered, "Look!" Did you happen to see any unusual grouping? Because we can tell by being on those riots. When all the different races are sectioned off, it's real quiet. Nobody's playing basketball. Nobody's working out. Was it one of those type of things, or how was it that day?
It was a little bit. It was kind of like that. People were sectioned off, right? But you see how people trying to go to the canteen. The canteen's going on. I think somebody was like playing on the soccer field a little bit. It wasn't no major sports like that going on, but it was like somebody playing on the soccer field. Without that, maybe like a few stragglers like that. That kind of days. People trying to go to the store. People going to laundry, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But people still knew because you could tell.
Right.
You still could tell. And we also heard that the CEO Best. His name was Best. I think he was like 5 block. No. 7 block. No, 5. Yeah, I think it's 7, 8 block tower. He was passing. He gave him knives. He's going to give him some knives.
Now hold on, stop. Okay, now you said a CO was giving you guys knives, the blacks?
No, not us. The Mexicans knives. White COs though.
Oh, okay. So now this is a white CO.
This white COs, they've been lying. They said they're passing out. Give knives. They let them. No, this is what it was. My bad. I'm taking that back. He watched them. My bad. I'm sorry. He watched them pass out knives.
Okay.
To each other.
Oh, okay. So you retract that then. So you saying the white CO watched the Hispanic?
Yeah, let me retract that. That's what it was. Yeah. He watched them. CO Best watched them pass out knives.
Uh-huh.
And he shot. He was the ones that shot the most shots out of this tower too.
Uh-huh. So I'm wondering now, like when CO Best is seeing the Hispanics pass knives to each other, he didn't. I guess so. Of course, obviously, he didn't put the yard down, or
no.
Or
he allowed everybody to come out. He allowed the yard to continue to come out.
Okay.
Yep.
So now take us back to the moment you at the canteen. You trying to get up in the store. All of a sudden, you hear somebody say, "Look."
Oh yeah, I see. Somebody said, "Look." So I look across the yard, like kind of like across the field, and it's like the railing, like the canteen rail. People saying line it. It's right in front of me. I'm out the rail though. So as I look. And there's like a little crowd on the rail. It's like a little Hispanic guy, like half my size. It's kind of funny though. He's like, I think he's like trying to punch me, but it was like more of like a push. You know what I'm saying? So he did it like this, and I was like just kind of caught guard for a minute, right? That it wasn't nothing really like hurting. And I just like kind of got off like a reflex. But then he got smothered in the little crowd. It's like crowded inside the little railing, right? He got smothered in the crowd, and we started getting off. You know what I'm saying? Like around us, it started getting off. Yep. Then they shot a couple times. People get like you get down for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Look around you. Then they rose up again. They rose up again. I went to get down. I turned to get down. I'm like on the grass area, right? I guess like it's like a brick wall, like a concrete wall behind me. The canteen wall is. And my partner's kind of next to me. I'm kind of looking out from him, same time, right? So I turned to get like to move back down. I said I feel he's shooting right there, right? So I turn back to the wall. And I kind of squat, and I got hit from behind to the back of my back right here. And the bullet traveled out the back of my right here under my base of my skull, the roof of my mouth, out to my left nostril.
Wow. And so, you know, I think back in the days when you came, did they still have the no warning shot policy and all that stuff?
No, they said that shit, but everybody knew it. They still shoot your ass, you know.
Right, because that's what I was gonna ask. I mean, prior to you being shot, did you happen to notice or see anyone in the vicinity with a knife, or do you think he was just shooting randomly into the crowd?
Well, I didn't see nobody out every night. In my area, like where I was at, like people just fighting. Now they had knives, of course, across the yard.
Right.
But I didn't actually see any knives, in front of me.
So after you was hit, did it dawn on you that you had been shot, or what did you what did you think was going on?
My first thought was like somebody knocked the hell out of me, right, from behind. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got me from behind, like just knocked the shit out of me, right? Cause it was like a blow. Then it was like gravity. I tried to, raise up. I'm on my hands and knees still, right? I squatted trying to move. So I got my hands and knees and I tried to raise up, and gravity just hold me down. I couldn't raise up. It was like, now I seen the blood start leaking out the wound, right? In my homeboy, Reggie, that's his name, Reggie, looked at me, his eyes wide and big as fucking saucers, right? he said, oh my God, he's shot. Somebody shot. And like everything just stopped in that area. You know what I'm saying? People got back down also, right, anyway, right? So they kind of went down, and the police came over there, after like close to a minute, you know what I'm saying? Came and got me up, took me right there, which was short little walk to the infirmary right there. Had me sitting. I was sitting there. They threw me on a like a similar stretcher, sit up there, and they were so disoriented, didn't know what to do. There's so much chaos. The MTA dude, whatever the nurse dude, just gave me like a little pan, like a little donut. I want to say little pea pan, whatever, little pans.
Right.
He went in and said, "Hey, well, hold this." He know what to do. The blood is leaking. You know what I'm saying? The blood is coming down. You know what I'm saying? I just like just sitting there, just going through it.
So at the time that the CO came and picked you up and walked you into the office or whatever, is the riot still going on? Is people still fighting and stuff across the yard?
Yep. It's still going. That was the beginning. That was like the beginning of it.
Right.
Very beginning.
So did it dawn on you at that time that your injury was real bad and significant? Or, I mean, because since you're sitting there, and you're bleeding into the pan or whatever, I
thought I was gonna die. I thought I was gonna die.
So you was cognizant and aware of everything what was going on and stuff?
Yep, I sure was. I wasn't passed out. I was fully aware, awake, and I was like kind of like fading a little bit, right? Fading in and out, and the guy could come back like, wake up, come on, stay with me. Type of, the nurse dude, right? Doing that to me. I guess I was fading. He seen me, I was fading out. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. And so how did you end up making it to the hospital?
They came in and got me. It was coming in. They were saying, who we need to get first? Because they like, the ambulance only holds so many people. They were like, who's like priority? They were like, dude, like look over and say, him. Point. He like looked around and he had to see me in the corner of his eye and say, him. Pointed at me. I was the first one in that motherfucking ambulance. First one out of there.
Now at the time when you was in the MTA and they was asking, who needed the most medical attention right now, was there a lot of injured convicts in there, or?
Yeah, it was a few. Yeah, a few couple guys on the side of the wall, like on the floor. I seen them with the dude the Mexican dude got shot and killed. I seen him wheel him in, right? But I didn't know he was dead at the time. You know what I'm saying? But he actually I figured out he was already dead. That was crazy.
And that was gonna be my next question. While they had you guys in the MTA, so they had mixed races. It was blacks and Hispanics in there at the same time.
Yeah, I believe it's coming in. Yeah, I was coming in different parts. Yeah, whoever got, whoever got hurt, so that, I guess that hurt.
And so moving forward, when you finally made it to the hospital, what was that like? Were you in and out of consciousness, or?
Oh yeah, I was out for a minute. I guess I was out for almost like a rest of that day. Cause it happened in the morning, in the morning. I woke up the next morning. Next day, ICU.
Wow.
I was in there a couple of days. I got better, I guess, faster than they thought, right? But God's plan, I got better faster than they thought. You know what I'm saying? It was only a couple of days in ICU. Then I ended up getting moved back to Vacaville Hospital, Wayne, prison Wayne, like kind of quick. Wasn't that long. I stayed that long in the hospital.
Right. So let me ask you, do you know, can you remember if how did your family feel once they was notified that you were shot and stuff? Did you ever discuss with your family
oh yeah,
how they was traumatized, how they felt? Take me through that a little bit if you don't mind.
You know what? I didn't ever discuss like how they were traumatized from that experience. Like now and everything, that'd be a good thing to do, to sit down and talk like with my mom, and my grandma was still around because she was around then. But my other grandmother that raised me right, she her and my mother's mother came up there. They actually let them come into the hospital room. It's a cell, big ass cell. So like, but it had a big old hospital bed in there. It was big because it's for the people that ill or whatever, or injured. They need assisted medical care. They allowed them to come. I was kind of shocked on that. They allowed them to come all the way into the cell. That's how I had my visits. Because they denied me. They did not know visits. They still allowed the visit.
So right after you got shot, you say the next day you woke up. So you was doing pretty good then, huh?
I got a lot better. I had we call it a tube in my throat. I had a trach in my throat. Right here, where you put had an injury with the breathe. I had a trach in my throat, and I couldn't talk, brother, for a whole month.
So the next day you wake up, you realize that you've been shot in this riot. What's going through your mind? How are you feeling like?
I'm just like, first of all, I was full of that medication the first time, all that stuff, what I'm saying, for the first, especially the first couple of weeks, first week. So I got a little more using. They brought that stuff down while they didn't really need it, I guess, that much no more, which is good. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to get addicted to anything. So that was good how they weeded it off.
Right.
Really, really quick, you know what I'm saying? But I felt, man, it was crazy. A lot of things with my mind. A lot of things, you know what I'm saying? I said there, that situation right there reinforced my revolutionary thought. It reinforced my spirituality. Because I recognize that I was saved for a reason. So I'm a very spiritual person, you know what I'm saying? My people are spiritual. I believe in God, you know what I'm saying? I believe everything happened for a reason. I like to say that the angels guided that bullet, because that bullet tried to wrap. It barely missed my jugular. You know what I'm saying? Traveled under the base of my brain, the bullet, and through the roof of my mouth.
Now let me ask you, before you was actually shot, did you ever think that having so much time and due to the nature of violence in prison that you may not make it out? And then being shot after you actually was shot during the prison riot, did that do anything to increase your worrying about not making it out, or how did that affect you?
You know what? That just made me more aware of the system, how corrupt it was. I went to the overload, man. I ain't gonna lie. After that, I started just creating, putting together, you know what I'm saying, lesson plans, bring people together, study group, you know what I'm saying, that's reaching out, you know what I'm saying, trying to influence with the homies, you know what I'm saying, that really, the ones that was on that mind, that stage, trying to influence them a little more, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It kind of pushed me in that direction. It kind of like, I'll say, instead of bring me down, it kind of made me more fortified in a sense. I look like they try to kill me, but it ain't gonna work.
Right.
That's how I looked at it.
And so you told me earlier that at some point while you was in the hospital, you noticed a couple other people who had been shot, who was in the hospital as well. Can you recall how many other people that got shot? That you
I know Tom Bomb. I forgot Tom's last name. Tom Bomb from Inglewood. Lido, he's from San Jose, but he like Filipino black. My boy Donald Jeffers, my homie Dread, that's my folks. He got shot to the jaw on the other side of the yard. Yeah, it was four. The four of us, yeah, four of us got shot.
Wow.
4 brothers.
And so how long was your recovery period? How long did they keep you in that prison hospital before they sent you back to a main line?
I stayed there for, let's see, 90, then like 90, 98 down there.
90 days?
No, till like 98. Let's see. I want to say because they had me in the hole. That's what look. When I got, that's what they did. When I got like enough where I can like move around more, I was in Vacaville on the hospital bed. They sent me back to the hole in Folsom.
And so let me ask you this: they sent you to the hole. So did they?
Yeah.
Was they cold enough to give you a write up for participating in a riot?
They sure the hell did.
So they shot you, damn near killed you, and then wrote you up and gave you a disciplinary action for participating in a riot.
Yeah.
And of course, they found you guilty by me just knowing the system.
Yeah, of course they did. You know, in the 115 hearing, they did. You know what I'm saying? But this good thing about it, I had so many CEOs backing me up, right? That told truth, said when they see me at the time that came here, I was like that, like damn. Because when I got shot, I was like squatted. I wasn't upright doing anything. They didn't see that part. They see me down. So they remember. Right. See, I remember saying "brother down." Everybody say "down." So
No,
go ahead. Sorry. No, I remember going to the board. They tried to bring that up, right? But in the board, they brought up also that, oh, here I see that. No, they said like witnesses said they seen brother down, so they kind of like brushed that off because of those witnesses. Yeah, because of witnesses.
So as a result of being shot, how much? So what was the findings of your disciplinary action? What happened on that 115 here? They end up giving you a shoe term? Yeah, like a short shoe. I was in the hole already, so they said I guess time served. I was there waiting for a transfer. You know what I'm saying? See, it was done, so I went right to the main line in Pelican Bay. So hold on. Right after you got shot in this riot in New Folsom, yep, they sent you to one of the more violent prisons in California. They sent you to Pelican Bay. They sure the hell did.
Them crackers let me out the gate, now the pressure's on. What? We about to get this shit straight like a pressing cone. Okay. The wrong cat to get aggressive on. I bring the bitch up out of niggas while you think they got them dresses on. My reach long and that's the best type. To have some dirty white boys come and smoke you like a meth pipe. And leave your chest bright red like a fire truck. Kicking your mom's door at night, nigga, and tie her up. I'm wild as fuck and I'm respected by the new youth. I put this pistol in their ear like a Bluetooth. I blow their brains on they new coupe. And have red everywhere just like a function full of soup whoops. Tell your troops I deal with beef like a butcher. My 4-5 pump more guys than Ashton Kutcher. Line pusher, quick to bury your clown. Nigga, I stayed in the park like the merry-go-round. Get it?
The game greasy, bitch, the game need me. Oh, you niggas don't know my name. The game greasy, bitch, the game need me. I'm out here doing my thing. The game greasy, bitch, the game need me. I swerve in my own lane. The game greasy, bitch, the game need me.